In the heart of a city where dreams were often bound by circumstances, there lived a young girl named Maya. Maya was from a small, impoverished neighborhood where opportunities were scarce, but the community, though struggling, was rich in culture and spirit. She lived with her mother, a hard-working woman who did her best to provide for Maya. But life had a way of making everything harder. Maya's father had left when she was young, and with no stable income, her mother took on multiple jobs, never allowing Maya to feel the weight of their struggles. Maya went to a public school where the divisions of wealth and social status were glaring. The rich kids sat together, their clothes fresh and their gadgets shiny, while Maya and the others from her neighborhood sat at the back of the class, often unnoticed, ignored, or even ridiculed. She had always been quiet, keeping to herself, preferring the solace of books to the noise of her classmates. But there was one thing that made Maya different from the others: her voice. Maya had the kind of voice that could stop time, the kind of voice that felt like it belonged in a different world. One day, the school announced that there would be a talent show. The idea was to showcase the talents of the students, and everyone from the popular kids to the quiet ones were asked to participate. Most of Maya's classmates laughed it off. Talent shows were meant for those who could sing well, dance well, or show off their skills, but Maya had never been the one to put herself out there. The day of the auditions, her teacher, Mrs. Stevens, who was known for pushing her students to do their best, encouraged Maya to join. "Maya, you've got something special in you. I know you can do this," she said with a warm smile, a look of genuine belief in her eyes. Maya hesitated, feeling a lump form in her throat. She had never sung in front of anyone, but after some convincing, she agreed, mostly because Mrs. Stevens wouldn't take no for an answer. As she walked to the stage, her heart raced and the murmurs from her classmates echoed in her ears. They didn't believe in her, they never had. What could she possibly do? They whispered. When it was her turn, Maya stood in front of the microphone, her hands trembling. The room was silent, but the tension was palpable. The spotlight felt like it was burning her skin, but she had no choice now. The music began, a soft piano tune that filled the air. And as Maya opened her mouth to sing, something changed. Her voice wasn't just a sound, it was a force. It was rich and full, and with each note, she seemed to pour all the struggles, all the pain, and all the hope she had in her life into the song. Her voice carried through the room, sweeping across the faces of her classmates who were stunned in silence. Even the teachers who had seen countless performances were taken aback by the raw emotion and power that emanated from her. Her classmates, who had once mocked her, were now speechless. They watched as Maya sang with the kind of confidence they never expected to see. The girl they had thought was invisible, the girl they thought was weak, was standing there, stronger than anyone in that room. Her voice echoed, and the sound was like nothing they had ever heard before. Clear, soulful, and full of life. By the time she reached the final note, there wasn't a single person in the room who wasn't moved. Even those who had ridiculed her earlier were left in awe, unable to believe what they had just witnessed. Maya stood still for a moment, her chest heaving as the last echoes of her voice faded away. And then, the room erupted into applause. It wasn't the polite, half-hearted clapping that one might expect at a talent show. No, this was genuine. It was a roar of appreciation, a wave of admiration for the girl who had just stunned everyone in the room. Maya stood frozen, a mix of emotions swirling inside her. She had never imagined that something like this could happen, but as she looked out over the crowd, she saw something different in their eyes. Respect, not the kind that came from social status or wealth, but real respect, the kind that was earned through something deep and true. From that day on, things changed for Maya. She no longer hid in the back of the class. She no longer let the taunts and sneers of her classmates define her. Instead, she walked with her head held high, knowing that she was no longer just the poor black girl at the back of the class. She was Maya, a girl with a voice that could captivate a room, a girl who had the power to change hearts with just one song. The talent show was only the beginning. Maya's life would never be the same again, but she was ready for whatever came next. She had learned that no matter where you come from, no matter how the world sees you, your voice, your true, authentic voice, has the power to break through any barrier. And as for her classmates, they learned a lesson too. They learned not to judge a book by its cover, not to assume that because someone came from a different background, they didn't have something extraordinary to offer. Maya had shown them that strength wasn't just in appearances, it was in the heart, in the spirit, and in the courage to stand up and be heard.